The rain hit my window like static. My phone buzzed once, lighting up the room. Her name. I opened the message. Ryan, I can't do this anymore. I met someone else. He's more stable, more mature. You'll understand someday. My hand tightened around the phone. I read it twice, 3 times, waiting for a follow-up. There wasn't one. Just silence. I typed, "Is this a joke?" Then deleted it. My chest felt hollow, like someone had pulled the floor out from under me. The rain blurred the city lights outside my apartment, and for a long time I stood there, staring at my reflection in the glass. Ella had always been ambitious, always chasing the next best thing. I thought I was part of her future. Turns out, I was a chapter she wanted to skip. My phone buzzed again. A friend request. From Sienna. I remembered her face instantly. One of Ella's closest friends. Sharp eyes, confident smile. The one who once told me, "You're too calm for her. She likes chaos." I hesitated before accepting. But pain makes you reckless. An hour later, I was sitting in a dim bar downtown. The air smelled like whiskey and regret. I needed to feel something other than humiliation. That's when I heard her voice. "Ryan." I turned. Sienna stood near the counter, black dress hugging her frame, a teasing smile playing on her lips. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Trying not to text your friend," I said. She tilted her head. "You mean the one who dumped you by text?" Her bluntness hit hard, but I nodded. "Yeah, that one." "Then you picked the right bar," she said, sliding into the seat beside me. "She never comes here. Too common for her taste." I smirked. "You all talk about me when I'm not around?" "Only when she complained you were too nice." I exhaled sharply. "Guess nice doesn't pay enough." Her eyes softened for a second. "You didn't deserve that." Before I could respond, more women walked in. I recognized them immediately, Mara and Chloe, both part of Ella's circle. Sienna waved them over. "Look who I found drowning his sorrows." Chloe laughed as she sat down. "So it's true then? She actually left you for that banker guy?" I took a sip of my drink. "Apparently, stability looks better in a suit." And Mara's voice was quiet. "That's cruel." "She's good at that," Sienna said, signaling the bartender. "For tequilas." I raised an eyebrow. "You girls planning an intervention?" "Something like that," Sienna said. "You look like you could use bad company?" Chloe grinned. "Or good distractions." The drinks arrived. We clinked glasses. The burn felt clean, cutting through the ache in my chest. Sienna leaned closer. "You really loved her, didn't you?" I looked down at my glass. "I thought she loved me too." "She loved being admired," Sienna said. "It made her feel powerful." Mara frowned. "Sienna, what?" Sienna said. "You know it's true." The tension between them was sharp enough to slice through the music. I stayed silent, letting them argue about the woman who had already moved on. Chloe broke the silence. "You know she's having a party next weekend, right?" I nodded faintly. "Her birthday," Sienna smirked. "She probably expects you to stay home crying." "I'm not giving her that satisfaction." "Good," she said, "because I have an idea." I looked at her warily. "That tone sounds dangerous." "It's brilliant," she said, resting her chin on her hand. "You show up at the party, looking better than ever, with company." "What kind of company?" "Us." Chloe's eyes sparkled. "Now that would sting." Mara shook her head. "That's petty," Sienna smiled. "It's poetic." I laughed under my breath. "You really want to walk into her party with me?" "Why not?" Sienna said. "She loves attention. Let's see how she handles losing it." Mara hesitated. "You're talking about humiliating her." Sienna looked at me. "No, I'm talking about showing her what she threw away." The idea hung in the air like smoke, dangerous, tempting. I felt something stir inside me, something sharper than heartbreak. "And what do I get out of this?" "Closure," Sienna said softly. "And maybe a little satisfaction." Chloe raised her glass. To satisfaction, we drank again. The music grew louder, the lights dimmer. I started to feel lighter, almost reckless. Mara leaned toward me. "You don't have to do this, Ryan. Revenge never ends well." I looked into her eyes. You think I still want her back? Part of you does. She wasn't wrong, but I didn't admit it. Instead, I looked at Sienna, who was watching me closely. What's the plan then? I asked. Sienna's lips curved into a knowing smile. We make an entrance she'll never forget. But Chloe clapped her hands. I'll handle the outfits. 8. I'll regret this. Sienna lifted her glass again. No regrets. Just revelations. The night stretched on with laughter that felt both wrong and right. Every time I looked at Sienna, I saw something daring in her eyes. Every time Mara spoke, I felt the weight of her empathy. Chloe just fueled the chaos with another round of drinks. When the bar started to thin out, Sienna stood. You walking home? Yeah, I said, getting up. She stepped closer, her perfume soft and warm, then walked me out. Outside, the rain had eased into a drizzle. The streetlights glowed against the wet pavement. Sienna looked at me. You're not as broken as she said. I let out a faint laugh. She talked about that too. She said you'd beg for her back one day. I met her gaze. She was wrong. Sienna smiled. Good. Let her see what she lost. Her voice dropped, low and deliberate. You don't have to chase her. Let her chase the ghost of what she ruined. The words sank deep, stirring something inside me that I hadn't felt since the breakup hour. I nodded slowly. Maybe that's exactly what I'll do. She smiled again, turning toward the corner. Then we'll see you next weekend. I watched her leave, heels clicking against the pavement, her confidence cutting through the night as the rain picked up again. I slipped my hands into my pockets and started walking home. For the first time since Ella's message, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like a storm she wouldn't see coming. The same bar, same corner booth, different energy. I came back because I couldn't stop thinking about that conversation with Sienna. Her words replayed in my head like a challenge I wasn't ready to ignore. She arrived first. Red dress this time, confident, dangerous. You came back, she said, sliding into the seat beside me instead of across. I needed a drink, I said, or a plan. Her smirk said she already knew. Before I could answer, Mara walked in, her hair tied back, soft sweater hugging her shoulders. She waved politely before joining us. Chloe followed, loud as ever. This looks like trouble already, she said, dropping her purse on the table. Sienna raised her glass. To trouble then. I clinked mine against hers. You said you had an idea. She leaned closer. Ella's been talking. Exhaled. About me? About how she upgraded, Sienna said, tilting her head. Her exact words were, Ryan was sweet, but too safe. Chloe laughed. Classic Ella. Always needs to sound like the winner. I stared into my drink. She's already rewritten the story. Sienna's tone turned sharp. Then we give her a new one. Mara frowned. You can't be serious. Why not? Sienna said. He shows up at her birthday party with us. Looking untouchable. She'd choke on her own confidence. Mara shook her head. You're talking about humiliating her in front of everyone. She deserves worse, Sienna said. You know what she did to me last year? Mara went quiet. I looked at her. What did she do? Sienna smiled coldly. Let's just say she has a habit of stealing what isn't hers. Chloe leaned back. And she thinks she's the victim when it all falls apart. The room filled with the low hum of conversation and music. But at that table, it felt like a secret was being born. I asked, What exactly are you suggesting? Sienna rested her chin on her hand. We walk in together. You, the man she threw away, us, her friends, who decided she wasn't worth our time anymore. She'll lose her mind. Chloe grinned. It'll be a show. Mara's eyes softened on me. You don't need this. You're already free. Her words landed gently, but felt heavier than anything else. Maybe, I said, but part of me wants her to see what she lost. Good, then we're on the same page. I took another drink. And what's in it for you? She shrugged. Closure. Entertainment. Maybe a little revenge. Chloe raised her glass. To revenge. We drank, but Mara didn't. She stared at me, quiet and steady. If you go down this road, be sure it's for yourself, not for her. I nodded. I'll keep that in mind. Sienna tapped her nails against the table. We'll need to plan the look, the timing, the entrance. Chloe leaned forward. I already have ideas. Black suit for him. Us in different shades. Red, gold, black. Contrast. Impact. Sienna grinned. She'll hate how good we look together, Mara sighed. You two are impossible. Sienna glanced at her. You'll thank me when you see her face. The waitress arrived with another round. The table buzzed with energy. It felt wrong, but thrilling. Sienna looked at me. Tell me something. Are you over her? I hesitated. I'm getting there. It's not a yes, she said. It's honest, I replied. Mara finally took her drink. Honesty is better than pretending, Sienna smirked. Pretending is half the fun. Their voices tangled like fire and water, opposites pulling me in both directions. Chloe broke the tension. So who's this new guy she's bragging about? Sienna answered. Colin works in finance. Owns half the city, apparently. Twice her age? Twice as boring, I laughed quietly. Sounds like a perfect match. Don't give her that satisfaction, Sienna said. He's just her trophy phase. Mara asked softly, what if she still tries to talk to you at the party? I'll listen, I said. Then walk away. Sienna smirked. You think you'll be that calm when she looks at you again? I will be. Her smile deepened. We'll see. She slid her phone toward me. Give me your number. I took it. For what? For coordination? And maybe for fun, she said. Chloe laughed. You two are already flirting. This is going to be wild. Sienna ignored her. Text me tomorrow. We'll figure out outfits and timing. Mara leaned in. You're really doing this, aren't you? I looked at her. You think it's a mistake? She held my gaze. I think you're still bleeding, and she'll see that. Her honesty cut deeper than Sienna's plans ever could. I said quietly, maybe I want her too. Mara looked away, hiding something I couldn't read. Chloe finished her drink and stood. Well, this alliance is officially formed. We're going to need champagne at that party, Sienna smirked. And a camera. Her expression will be priceless. Mara pushed back her chair. You're both insane. You love us for it. Mara shook her head but smiled despite herself. I looked at all three of them. The idea had started as revenge, but sitting there, I could feel something else rising. Attraction, danger, the thrill of control after being discarded. Sienna noticed. What are you thinking? That I might actually enjoy this, I said. Her lips curved. Good, because you'll need confidence to pull it off. I'll manage. I'll make sure you do, she said softly. Mara's eyes darted between us. A flicker of unease crossing her face. Chloe clapped once. Then it settled. The plan begins tomorrow. Sienna stood, gathering her purse. Ryan, walk me out. I followed her to the door. The night air felt cooler than before, sharp against my skin. She stopped near the curb. You know she'll crumble when she sees you. Maybe, or maybe she'll laugh. Either way, she'll feel something. I looked at her. Why are you helping me? She smiled faintly. Because I like watching liars lose. Her perfume lingered when she stepped closer. Text me when you get home, I will. She slipped a folded napkin into my hand. Her number, her voice dropped. Let's make her jealous. I watched her walk away, heels echoing against the pavement. Mara and Chloe came out a minute later. Chloe waved before heading for a cab. Mara lingered. You really trusting her? She asked. I'm trusting myself, I said. She's not doing this for you, Ryan. I know. Mara sighed. Then be careful. I will. She gave me a look that stayed with me long after she left. A look that said she cared more than she wanted to admit. I walked to my car, still holding the napkin in my hand, for the first time in weeks. I felt something close to control. It wasn't love. It wasn't peace. It was fire. and I intended to let it burn just long enough for her to see the smoke. The knock on my door came earlier than I expected. When I opened it, Sienna was already grinning like she owned the night. "Ready for round 2, heartbreak boy?" she said, brushing past me with a bottle of wine in hand. Chloe followed right behind her, spinning her keys. We brought the essentials: wine, confidence, and way too much perfume. Mara lingered in the doorway. She gave a small smile before stepping inside. "We also brought clothes," she said quietly. "For the mission." I tried to laugh it off. "Mission? You make it sound like espionage." Sienna dropped onto my couch. "It is. You think Ella's party is some casual event? That's where she flaunt her shiny new prize. You, my friend, are the plot twist." Chloe set the wine on my table and opened it without asking. "And we're your co-stars," she said, handing me a glass. "You're lucky. Most men would pay for this kind of revenge team." Took the glass, half amused, half unsettled. "I didn't think I'd need a team." "You don't," Sienna said, crossing her legs. "But you need style. You need presence. And you need to walk in there looking like she lost the only thing that ever made her life interesting." I leaned against the counter. "You've been waiting to say that, haven't you?" "Maybe," she said, "but I mean it." Mara walked toward me, holding up a suit jacket she'd pulled from the bag. "Try this one." I raised an eyebrow. "You brought suits?" She smiled. "You'd be surprised how much you can say without speaking, especially to someone who expects you to look broken." Her tone was soft but sure. When she helped me slip into the jacket, her fingers brushed the back of my neck. I didn't move. Neither did she. Sienna clapped once. "All right, less smoldering, more focus. We need to plan the entrance." Chloe laughed. "You're just jealous you're not the one adjusting his tie." "Jealous?" Sienna turned to her. "Please. I'm the one making the plan. He's my project." I met Mara's eyes through the mirror. She didn't say anything, but I caught the faintest hint of something there, something she didn't want the others to notice. Sienna stood in front of me, snapping her fingers. Okay, imagine it. Ella's standing near the bar, pretending she's too happy to notice you. You walk in with us. Heads turn. She freezes, Chloe added. Then we laugh like you've told the funniest story. I'll touch your arm. Sienna will toss her hair. Mara will give you that quiet smile. That'll be enough. Mara's voice was almost a whisper. Why me? Because you're the unexpected one, Sienna said. Ella thinks she knows everyone's role. You'll be the one she never saw coming. Mara nodded but kept her gaze on the floor. Chloe sipped her wine. You really think this will make Ella regret him? Sienna smirked. It's not about regret. It's about rewriting the story. He's no longer the dumped one. He's the one she can't stop staring at while pretending not to. I took another drink and felt the warmth hit. So, I'm supposed to walk in with 3 stunning women, act like I'm perfectly fine, and make her jealous enough to choke on her champagne? Sienna leaned in. Exactly. Mara looked up at me. But it shouldn't feel fake. It has to look real. It will, Chloe said with a grin. Especially if you keep letting her adjust your tie like that. Mara's hand paused midair. I caught her wrist gently, lowering it. I think it's perfect now. Her lips parted, but she just nodded and stepped back. Sienna walked around me, assessing. Not bad. You clean up better than I thought. Thanks, I guess. You're welcome. Now, about the vibe, she said. You need confidence, not arrogance. Look like you've moved on. Like your life got better without her. I nodded slowly. You think I can pull that off? Chloe laughed. You already are. The fact that we're here doing this proves it. Apartment filled with quiet music from my speaker. Mara wandered to the window, looking out at the city. She's not worth this much energy, she said softly. But I get it. What do you get? I asked. She turned back to me. You cared. And she made you feel like caring was weakness. Sienna rolled her eyes. We're not doing therapy tonight. Mara gave a faint smile. Maybe not, but he deserves to hear it. Chloe flopped onto the couch, kicking off her heels. Deserve or not, he's getting the glope of the year. We'll make sure of it. Sienna raised her glass. To reinvention. We all lifted ours. I didn't realize I was smiling until Mara caught me doing it. After a few more rounds, the room softened. The laughter got looser, the music louder. Chloe started trying on my sunglasses. Sienna posed for fake photos, and Mara just watched. Quiet, but present. When the others argued over which shirt worked best, Mara came closer again. You don't have to do this, she said quietly. Yes, I do. Why? Because she thinks I'm still waiting. Her eyes held mine. Are you? I shook my head. Not anymore. She hesitated. Then don't let this turn into something you'll regret. Before I could answer, Sienna called out, We're picking this one. Black shirt, open collar. It says mysterious but dangerous. Chloe laughed. It says he's about to ruin someone's night, and I'm here for it. Sienna grabbed my phone. We'll text you the party details tomorrow. You'll meet us outside at 7. Got it. Chloe grabbed her coat. You sure you can handle us? I think I'll survive. Mara lingered near the door. Sienna and Chloe were already halfway down the hall when she turned back to me. You really do look different tonight. How so? Like you finally remembered who you were before her. I smiled faintly. Thanks. She took a small step closer. What if she doesn't deserve to see you like this? I met her eyes. That's exactly why she has to. She smiled barely, then turned and left. The door clicked shut. The echo of their laughter trailed down the hallway. I stood there for a moment, staring at my reflection in the mirror. For the first time since Ella's text, I didn't feel broken. I felt ready. The night air felt heavier than usual as I stepped out of the car. The venue shimmered with golden lights, laughter spilling from the open doors. I could already hear her voice inside, that familiar, sharp laugh I once thought I loved. Sienna adjusted my collar and whispered, This is your moment. Breathe. Walk in like she doesn't exist. I can do that, I said. Though my pulse disagreed, Chloe grinned and linked her arm through mine. You look good enough to start rumors. Mara stood slightly behind us, quiet as always, her eyes studying me. Ready? She asked softly. Ready, I said. We stepped inside together. Music pulsed, champagne glasses clinked, and heads turned like a wave. The lights caught Sienna's dress first, a bold red that demanded attention. Chloe laughed too loudly on purpose. Mara's calm confidence made the trio impossible to ignore, and then the room froze. Ella stood near the center, mid-toast, her perfect smile faltering when she saw us. Her hand tightened around the glass. Colin, the man beside her, looked confused until he followed her gaze. Sienna leaned close to me. Target acquired, she whispered with a smirk. I smiled, letting my voice rise just enough. You didn't tell me your friends threw this fancy of a party? Chloe laughed, making sure it carried. Oh, Ella loves a performance. Let's give her one. The murmurs started. People watched as we moved through the crowd. Someone whispered my name. Another laughed in disbelief. Every step felt like a slow, cinematic reveal. Ella finally set her glass down and walked toward us, her expression composed but her eyes sharp. Ryan, she said, you came. I gave a polite smile. You invited half the city. Thought I'd see what all the noise was about. Colin appeared behind her, his hand firm on her waist. And you brought company. Sienna extended her hand. We're friends of Ella's. Long time, no see. Ella didn't move to shake it. I didn't realize you four were close. Chloe giggled. We are now? Mara stayed silent, her gaze shifting between Ella and me. Ella's smile twitched. Well, I'm glad you're all enjoying yourselves. Colin, this is Ryan. We used to date. Colin gave a condescending grin. Ah, the ex. Always interesting to meet the man who came before. Looked him in the eye. You should be careful saying that. It sounds temporary, he laughed, but there was no humor in it. Enjoy the party. Ella tugged him away before he could reply. The tension lingered in the air like perfume. Sienna leaned into me, voice low. You hit a nerve. Nicely done. I wasn't trying to. I said, you don't have to. Just being here is enough. We drifted toward the bar. The bartender poured something dark into a glass before I could ask. Mara stood beside me, her voice barely audible. You handled that well. Almost didn't, I said. She didn't expect you to look calm, she replied. Or confident. Chloe appeared beside us, sipping champagne. Colin looks like he's about to explode. Ella's pretending she doesn't care. Good, Sienna said, settling on a stool. Let them sweat. The music changed to something slower, richer. Couples started to dance near the center of the room. I could feel Ella's eyes on me again. Every time I laughed, she glanced over. Every time I leaned closer to one of the girls, her posture stiffened. Mara nudged me. She's watching, I know. And don't look back, she said. Make her wonder what you're thinking. I smiled. You're better at this than Sienna. Sienna heard that and smirked. Please. I trained her. We laughed, and for a moment, it almost felt real. Like we were just four people enjoying a night, not actors in a quiet war. Then I saw Ella walking toward the bar alone. Her eyes locked on mine, determined and dangerous. Stay here, I said to the others. Sienna arched a brow. Are you sure? Yeah. I turned just as Ella reached me. She didn't smile. You really had to bring them, didn't you? You told them about the party, I said. I didn't know they'd all want to come. Don't play dumb, she said, stepping closer. You're doing this to make me jealous? Is it working? Her breath hitched. You look ridiculous. It's funny. You didn't seem to think that when we were together. Her jaw tightened. That was a different time. Right. Before Colin's bank account became your new hobby. She glanced away, her mask slipping for half a second. You always twist things, only when they're already bent, I said. Her eyes flicked past me to where Sienna and the others stood laughing. They're using you. Can't you see that? Maybe, but they're honest about it. Her voice dropped. You think this makes you look strong? It doesn't. It makes you look desperate. Desperate people beg. I stopped doing that when you left. She froze. I could see her trying to hold her composure. You'll regret this, she said quietly. Maybe, I said, but at least I'll enjoy tonight. She turned and walked away, her shoulders too straight to be natural. When I went back to the others, Sienna was smiling like she'd just won a bet. So, how'd it go? She's furious, I said. Perfect, Chloe said. That means it's working. Mara looked at me, concern flickering in her eyes. You okay? I'm fine. You don't look fine. Better than I was, I said, and I meant it. We stayed a little longer. Letting the cameras flash, letting whispers spread. Every laugh, every smile, every clink of glass was part of the story now. Before we left, I glanced across the room. Ella stood with Colin, pretending to listen while sneaking glances at me. Colin's hand was tight on her waist, like he was claiming something fragile. Sienna touched my arm. She's breaking inside. Good, I said quietly. Careful, Mara said. You're starting to enjoy this too much. I turned to her. Maybe that's the point. She didn't argue, just gave a small, knowing smile. When we walked out, the cool air hit me again. The sound of laughter and music faded behind us. I felt lighter, stronger. Sienna looked over her shoulder at the venue. You think she'll call? She won't, I said, but she'll think about it. Mara slipped her hand through mine as we reached the car. You did well tonight. I looked at her, the city lights catching her eyes. I had good company. The bass from the speakers felt like a pulse under my skin. The party was in full swing now, loud and reckless, with lights cutting through smoke and perfume. I was halfway through another drink when Sienna appeared in front of me, grinning like she had just stolen something valuable. Come on, she said, holding out her hand. It's time to make her nervous. I hesitated. You sure this is a good idea? Ryan, everything we've done tonight has been a bad idea. That's what makes it fun. Before I could answer, she pulled me toward the dance floor. The crowd opened just enough for us to step in, the music swallowing everything else. Her hand slid up my arm as we moved in rhythm. She was close, too close, and she knew it. Smile, she said, leaning near my ear. She's watching. I can feel it. Good, then don't look at her. Look at me. So I did. Her eyes were sharp, daring me to break the moment. I didn't. The crowd faded, the light spun, and for a second I almost forgot what this was. Almost when I caught a glimpse of Ella over Sienna's shoulder. Her expression was unreadable. Her fingers clenched around her glass, her jaw tight. Colin stood beside her, whispering something she clearly ignored. Sienna smirked. Perfect. She's unraveling. You sound proud. I am. She made everyone believe she upgraded, and now she's watching what she threw away dance with her friends. That's karma. I turned slightly, lowering my voice. You sure this isn't personal for you two? She met my eyes. Of course it is. Her honesty hit harder than the music. Before I could ask more, she spun under my arm and pressed her palm to my chest. Don't overthink it. Just stay in character. The song changed to something slower. She stayed close. I could feel her breath against my neck, the weight of the moment blurring revenge and temptation. When the lights dimmed, the dance floor glowed in streaks of gold and blue. Mara stood at the edge, her face half lit, her expression hard to read. I caught her watching us, then looking away, then watching again. Sienna noticed. She doesn't like this. Mara. She's quiet, but she feels everything. Be careful with her. Before I could reply, she leaned in even closer. Her voice a whisper that only I could hear. And don't fall for her either. She's not built for this kind of game. The song ended. The crowd clapped, drunk and loud. Sienna gave me one last teasing smile before slipping away into the crowd. I stood there for a second, catching my breath. Then Mara appeared. Her voice was low. You looked comfortable out there. It's part of the plan. Sure, she said. You looked like you forgot it was a plan. I ran a hand through my hair. You think I'm enjoying this? I think you're pretending not to. Mara, this is supposed to make Ella jealous. That's it. Her eyes softened. And what about me? The question hung in the air longer than it should have. Before I could answer, she took a step back. Never mind. Forget, I asked. I wanted to stop her, but the next song started and the lights dimmed further. The crowd shifted again, leaving me near the bar, and then Ella appeared beside me. Having fun? She asked, her voice steady but her eyes trembling. I am now, I said, dancing with my friends, really. They invited me. She laughed under her breath. You didn't have to say yes. You didn't have to leave. Her gaze flicked down, then back up. You still miss me, don't you? I smiled faintly. You'd like that, wouldn't you? She leaned in, close enough that her perfume clouded my thoughts. Just admit it. This is all for me. If it was, I said, you'd be smiling. Her lips tightened. You've changed. Maybe I just stopped apologizing. Colin doesn't even notice half the things you think matter, she said. He's not like you. Then why are you standing here with me instead of him? She froze. I watched the realization hit her before she looked away. I just wanted to see if you were okay, she said softly. I'm better than okay, right, she said, her tone sharp again. Because you're with Sienna now, I guess. I gave a small shrug. Sienna's confident. You used to like that about people. Her voice cracked for the first time. You think she actually cares about you? She's using you. Maybe she is. But at least she's not pretending it's love. Ella's eyes glistened for a moment before she caught herself. You'll regret playing this game. I leaned closer, close enough to feel her breath. Maybe, but for once, I'm not the one losing. Before she could respond, Colin appeared, his voice sharp. Everything all right here? Perfect, I said, stepping back. We were just catching up. Ella muttered something under her breath and took his arm. He didn't look pleased, but she led him away before he could speak. Sienna returned to my side, smiling like a director watching her favorite scene unfold. That was intense. What did she say? She thinks I still miss her. Do you? I hesitated. I'm not sure. She laughed quietly. That's progress. Mara stood a few feet away, pretending not to listen. When Sienna walked off, I went to her. You've been quiet, I said. Just watching, she replied. What did you see? A man pretending he's fine, she said. And a woman pretending she's not jealous? Which one's winning? She looked up at me. Neither. For a second, everything else faded. The lights, the music, the noise. Just her eyes and the ache between what we were doing and what it was turning into. Then Chloe appeared, pulling us both back to reality. Come on, lovebirds. The next song's ours. Mara smiled, though it didn't reach her eyes. Maybe later. As she walked away, I felt it. The strange, heavy truth of what we'd started. Revenge had turned into something messier, and as the night went on, I realized something even worse. Ella wasn't the only ghost I was dancing with. The air outside the venue felt cooler than I expected. The bass from inside still thumped through the walls, but out here it was quiet enough to hear my own heartbeat. I leaned against the railing, trying to catch my breath. Then I heard footsteps. Mara's voice broke the silence. You really think you can keep doing this? I turned. She stood a few steps away, her arms crossed, her expression sharp but trembling. Doing what? I asked. Pretending you don't care. Pretending this is just a game. I exhaled slowly. It started as one. She shook her head. Then end it before it ruins you. It's already ruined, I said. You saw her tonight? You saw the way she looked at me. That's not love. That's guilt. And maybe that's enough, I said. Maybe I just want her to feel something. She stepped closer. You already made her feel something. But now it's you who's getting lost in it. I looked away toward the city's skyline. The lights blurred against the night, like they were moving even when everything else stood still. You don't understand, I said. I spent months trying to convince myself she was right to leave, that I wasn't enough. Then she walks in here, acts like she still has control, and I'm supposed to stay calm? Mara's voice softened. You don't owe her that calm. You owe it to yourself. I met her eyes. And what about you? Why do you care this much? She hesitated. Because I know what it feels like to love someone who doesn't look at you the same way. Her words hung there sharp and raw. Mara, I said quietly. She took another step closer. You think this is just about Ella? It's not. It never was. What are you saying? She swallowed hard, then said it. I liked you long before she ever did. The world seemed to stop. The music faded. The noise disappeared. It was just her voice, shaking but steady, echoing in my head. I used to watch you two together, she said. You were always the one who cared more. I hated how she took that for granted. Mara, you don't have to do this, I said. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it because I'm tired of pretending. I didn't know what to say. My pulse felt uneven. I wanted to reach for her, to stop her from saying more, but I couldn't move. She took a breath. When you started spending time with me after she left, I thought maybe it meant something. Then I realized you were still chasing her ghost. That's not fair, I said. Maybe not. But it's true. Her eyes glistened under the terrace light. You keep looking at me like you're trying to see her reflection. I'm not her, Ryan. I never will be. But I wouldn't have left you for someone richer or louder or easier. Her voice cracked on the last word. I finally spoke. You think I wanted this? I think you don't know what you want anymore. She turned to leave, but I caught her wrist. Don't walk away. Not like this. Her eyes met mine, and for a second, everything that had been buried between us came to the surface. The nights we stayed up talking, the quiet glances, the laughter that always felt a little too real. I wanted to say something, anything that would make sense of it. But before I could, the door behind us creaked open. Ella's voice cut through the quiet. I knew I'd find you here. Mara froze. Ella stepped onto the terrace, her heels clicking against the stone. Her expression was calm, but her eyes gave her away. She had heard enough. So this is what it was about, she said coldly. You wanted one of my friends instead. I let go of Mara's wrist. It's not what you think, Ella's tone sharpened. Really? Because from where I'm standing, it looks exactly like that. Mara straightened. Ella, don't do this. Oh, I'm not doing anything, Ella said. I'm just realizing how predictable he is. You were right there waiting the whole time, weren't you, Mara? Mara's face hardened. You don't get to twist this. Not twisting anything, Ella said. I just didn't think you'd fall for it too. Fall for what? Mara demanded. For him pretending he's over me? Ella said. It's cute, really. Stepped forward. Enough. Ella's gaze snapped to me. Don't act like the victim, Ryan. You wanted me to see this. You wanted me jealous? You made me this way? I said. You don't get to break me and then decide how I put myself back together. Her voice trembled now. I never wanted this. I wanted you to move on, not to turn into someone I don't recognize. Then why do you care? I asked, if you've moved on with Colin, why are you out here? She blinked, her confidence cracking. Because she stopped herself, shaking her head. Because you're making a fool of yourself. Mara spoke softly. He's not the only one hurting, Ella. Ella turned to her. You think I don't know that? You think this is easy for me? You made your choice, I said. And you made yours, she shot back. So don't stand here acting like you're innocent. The tension was electric, heavy enough to choke on. Mara finally whispered, You both deserve better than this. Ella glared at her. Don't try to play peacekeeper now. Mara's voice shook. You don't get to control every story, Ella. Not this one. Ella took a step back. Then by all means tell me how it ends. I spoke before Mara could. It ends when I stop letting you both tear me in two. They both went silent. Ella's eyes softened for a moment, then turned cold again. Good luck with that. She turned and walked back inside, her perfume fading with each step. Mara stayed still, her shoulders tense. I looked at her. You didn't have to say all that. I did, she said. You needed to hear it, and now she hates you for it. She already hated me, she said. At least now it's for something true. The city lights flickered across her face. She took a slow breath. I meant what I said, Ryan. Every word. I didn't answer. My chest felt tight, my mind a mess of guilt and confusion. She turned toward the door. If you ever figure out what you really want, you know where to find me? I watched her leave. The sound of the music swallowing her steps. I stood there alone, staring at the skyline, wondering how everything had gotten so tangled. The night felt colder now. And for the first time, I wasn't sure which of them I was really trying to forget. The moment I stepped back inside, the air felt different. Conversations had shifted, laughter replaced by whispers. The tension that had started outside now pulsed through the room like electricity. Mara stood near the bar, her shoulders stiff. Sienna was beside her, whispering something sharp under her breath. Chloe watched from a corner, phone in hand, eyes wide with amusement. And then Ella appeared, her expression calm in the way storms look calm before they hit. There you are, she said, her voice carrying across the room. People turned. Music dipped. Even Colin looked uneasy. I stayed still. What do you want, Ella? Her eyes flicked toward Mara. Oh, I think you know. Mara tensed. Don't do this here. Ella smiled thinly. Why not? Everyone's already watching. Let's give them what they came for. Sienna stepped forward. You're embarrassing yourself. Ella ignored her. You think I don't know what's been happening? My so-called best friend confessing her little crush while my ex-boyfriend plays along. You all think I'm blind? Mara's voice shook. You're twisting it, am I? Ella said. Because I just saw the two of you alone on the terrace. That doesn't look like friendship to me. I felt the room close in. Every eye was on us. The music stopped completely now. Even the bartender froze mid-pour. You should stop, I said quietly. Ella turned to me. Why? So you can keep pretending you're the victim? You started this. I started nothing, I said. You left, remember? She took a step closer. And you couldn't handle it. So you brought my friends into it. Sienna crossed her arms. You lost the right to talk about loyalty when you traded him for Colin's bank account. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Colin shifted uncomfortably, his drink in hand. Ella snapped. Stay out of this, Sienna. Too late, Sienna said. You made it everyone's business the second you turned this party into a stage. Chloe grinned. Honestly, this is better than reality TV. Chloe, I warned. She raised her glass.
But I'm just saying.
Ella's eyes darted between all of us. Her voice rose. You think you can humiliate me? In front of everyone? No one's trying to humiliate you, Mara said. You're doing that yourself. Hila's tone sharpened. You really think you're better than me, don't you? Mara's chin lifted. No, just different. That hit harder than any insult could. Ella's face tightened. She looked at me like she was searching for a reaction, for some piece of me that still belonged to her. You're enjoying this, she said. I'm not, I replied. I just finally see what I couldn't before. Eyes narrowed. And what's that? That you were never in love with me, I said. You were in love with control? A murmur ran through the guests. Ella's hand trembled, the glass in her grip clinking softly. She forced a laugh. Control. Please. You were lucky I even stopped, I cut in. You don't get to rewrite what we had. You left because you thought you could do better. And maybe you did. But don't stand here acting like I betrayed you. Sienna's voice broke the silence. You always needed someone to blame. Hila turned on her. And you always needed to feel relevant. Sienna smiled. Guess we both got what we wanted tonight. The tension snapped like a string pulled too tight. Ella's eyes shimmered with tears she tried to hide. You think I'm the villain? She said, her voice cracking. But I'm the one who kept you together when no one else cared. Mara stepped closer. You kept him trapped, Ella glared. You don't know anything about us? I know enough, Mara said. I know what it looks like when someone mistakes possession for love. The crowd had grown. Phones were out now, recording. I hated it, but I didn't move. I wanted to, but something in me needed this moment. Ella's mascara smudged under her eyes. Her voice broke. You think he'll choose you? He won't. He never will. Mara didn't flinch. Then at least I'll know I didn't manipulate him to get there. Ella laughed bitterly. You really think he's innocent? He's been playing all of us. Step forward. Stop trying to drag everyone down just because you can't handle being exposed. Her face twisted. You're enjoying this? You're loving watching me fall apart. I don't want to watch you fall apart, I said. I just want to stop being the reason you get to. For a second, I thought she might slap me. Instead, she set her drink down too hard, the liquid spilling across the bar. Her voice dropped to a whisper. You'll regret humiliating me. I met her gaze. I already regretted loving you. The words landed heavier than I expected. The noise of the room fell away. Ella stared at me, her face crumbling piece by piece. Then she turned and walked out. Colin followed her, hesitating for half a second before disappearing into the crowd. Silence filled the space. They left behind. Chloe whistled softly. Well, that was brutal. Sienna sighed. It was necessary. Mara stood still, her eyes on me. You meant what you said? I nodded. Every word. She looked down, then back up. Then maybe now you can finally start healing. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to feel lighter. But watching Ella's shadow vanish through the door, I realized healing wasn't as easy as choosing to stop hurting. Sienna leaned closer. You handled that better than I thought. I gave a weak smile. I didn't handle it. I survived it. Chloe grinned. That's close enough. Mara stayed quiet, then whispered, You know she'll come back. Maybe, I said. But I won't be waiting. The music started again, louder than before, drowning out the whispers. People tried to move on, to pretend they hadn't just witnessed something break in real time. Sienna touched my arm. You want to leave? I glanced toward the exit. Not yet. Mara tilted her head. Then what? I want to feel what it's like to breathe again, I said. And for the first time all night I did. The music faded behind us as I opened the car door for Mara. The night air was cooler than before, carrying the faint scent of rain. Neither of us spoke as she slid into the passenger seat. Her eyes were red, but she held herself steady. I started the engine. The headlights cut through the darkness. She finally said, I can't believe she did that in front of everyone. She wanted control, I said. When she lost it, she needed a scene. Mara looked out the window. She humiliated herself, not us. I glanced at her. You didn't deserve that. Her lips pressed together. Neither did you. Silence filled the space between us again. The city lights blurred through the windshield as we drove past empty streets. The tension that had filled the party now turned into exhaustion. But underneath it was something softer. "You didn't have to defend me," she said quietly. "You could have just let her talk. I wasn't going to stand there and let her drag you into her mess," I said. "You were the only one telling the truth." Her voice wavered. "She was my best friend once. We used to share everything. I knew she could be cruel, but not like that. Kept my eyes on the road. People show who they are when they lose power." She turned to me. "Then what did tonight show about you?" The question hung heavy. I didn't answer right away. That I was tired of pretending I was fine, I said. That I wanted her to see me standing without her. "And did it help?" I exhaled slowly. "A little." She smiled faintly. "It helped me too." Her voice softened as if she wasn't sure she should say the next part. "You didn't just protect me tonight. You reminded me that not everyone who cares about you wants something in return." And the words hit something deep. I looked at her again, the glow from the dashboard lighting her face. "You make it sound like I did something selfless?" She shook her head. "You did something real." The radio played quietly. Some old song neither of us recognized filled the silence. After a minute, she spoke again. "Do you think she'll reach out?" "She might," I said, "but I won't answer." "You mean that?" "I do." Her hand rested in her lap. "Good, because if you go back, she'll destroy everything you've just built tonight." I gave a half smile. "I'm not that guy anymore." She looked at me for a long time, her expression unreadable. "Then maybe you're finally the man she didn't deserve." The streetlights flickered across her face as we stopped at a red light. Her hand brushed mine on the gear shift. It wasn't a move. It wasn't heat. It was connection. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" "For not letting her ruin me too." I turned to her. "You never needed me to save you." "Maybe not," she said. "But it felt nice to have someone try." For a moment we just sat there. The light turned green, but I didn't move. The song ended, replaced by silence again. She looked at me, then leaned back in her seat. "You think this was all just revenge?" "It started that way," I admitted. "Now I don't even know what it is." "Maybe it's healing," she said. "Or maybe it's something I'll regret tomorrow." Her smile was small, but genuine. "You won't." I started driving again. Her hand stayed close to mine, fingers brushing just enough to make my pulse rise. When I pulled up outside her apartment building, the night had gone still. The city felt slower, quieter. She didn't get out right away. "Do you ever think about what could have been if she hadn't left you?" "Sometimes," I said. But tonight, I realized I was more in love with the idea of her than who she really was. Mara nodded. "She loved the way you looked at her, not the person you were. And you." I asked, "What did you see?" Her eyes lifted to mine. Someone who finally stopped being afraid of losing. That silence between us felt heavier than anything said all night. She reached for my hand again. Her fingers soft against mine. "You'll be okay." "I think so." The porch light from her building reflected off the windshield. She turned toward the door, but paused before opening it. "You know," she said, "for a night that started with chaos, this is the calmest I've felt in months." I smiled. "That makes two of us." She hesitated. "Will I see you again?" "I'd like that," I said. She stepped out of the car, but before closing the door, she leaned in. "You don't have to fight her anymore. You've already won." I watched her walk toward the entrance, the soft click of her heels fading against the concrete. For the first time in weeks, my chest didn't feel tight. Then I caught it. In the rearview mirror, a pair of headlights stayed steady behind me. Too close, too slow, I frowned and waited. The car didn't pass. I turned off the radio. The sound of my heartbeat filled the silence. Maybe it was just someone parked behind me. Maybe not. My phone buzzed on the passenger seat. I picked it up, a new message. "Unknown number. You think it's over? Watch what happens next." I stared at the screen, the glow from the phone lighting my hands. The sound of another car door opening reached me through the quiet street. Then everything felt colder again. The morning started with a vibration on my nightstand that wouldn't stop. My phone kept lighting up. Message after message. Notifications, missed calls, tags. I grabbed it, half awake, and froze. Photos from the party filled my screen. Me and Mara close together, her hand brushing mine. The look we shared when Ella screamed. Someone had taken pictures from angles that looked deliberate. The captions were worse. Office affair caught on. Camera love triangle explodes at charity gala. CEO. Cheats with ex's best friend. My stomach dropped. I hit play on a short clip. Ella's voice cut through the speakers. Ask him why he left me for her. Ask her why she betrayed me. The comment section burned. People I knew, clients, strangers. Mara's name trended. So did mine. I barely had time to breathe before my phone rang again. My company. Ryan, we need you in the office. Now. I'm coming, I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. I threw on a shirt, grabbed my keys, and drove. Every red light felt longer than usual. My hands tightened on the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. When I reached the building, people pretended not to stare. I caught their reflections in the glass doors. They all knew. Inside the conference room, my assistant handed me her tablet. It's everywhere, she said. Even news outlets picked it up. I scrolled through headlines until I couldn't anymore. The PR director leaned forward. If this continues, sponsors will back out of the partnership. We need a statement. Not confirming something that isn't true, I said. They don't care about truth, he replied. They care about optics. I looked at him. So you want me to lie? He hesitated. I want you to protect the company. I stood. I'll handle this myself. Outside, my phone buzzed again. Mara, I answered. You saw it? Her voice trembled. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to make this worse. She's ruining your life because of me. Stop, I said. This isn't your fault. She's painting me as the reason your career's falling apart. People are messaging me, calling me names. I rubbed my forehead. She planned this. Every photo, every word. She wanted to humiliate both of us. Her breath caught. So what do? We don't hide, I said. We tell the truth. There was silence. Then she whispered, You'd do that? Go public? I have nothing left to lose if I stay quiet. Then we do it together. I drove to her apartment. She opened the door before I knocked. She looked exhausted, her eyes swollen from crying. You shouldn't be here, she said. They'll photograph you again. Let them, I said. I'm done running. She stepped aside. You really think we can fix this? Not fix, I said. Fight back. She looked at me like she wasn't sure whether to trust the idea or me. I won't let her control the story, I said. She's counting on me to stay quiet out of guilt. That's over. Her voice was small. What do we even say? The truth. That I ended things with Ella months ago. That she tried to destroy your reputation out of jealousy. That the photos were manipulated. She folded her arms. People won't believe us. Some won't, I said. But the right ones will. Her eyes searched mine. You sound so sure. I'm not. But I'm tired of being afraid of her. She exhaled slowly. Then we need a plan. We sat at her small kitchen table. She opened her laptop. Together we drafted a statement. Every word mattered. Keep it personal, I said. Not defensive, she typed. Something like what you saw online isn't the truth. It's a version built from anger. We choose honesty over drama. I nodded. That's good. Add that we're cooperating with the venue to investigate the leak. Then stopped typing. Are you sure about posting this? Yes, I said. She can't twist silence. We hit post. The first few comments came within seconds. Then hundreds. Some cruel, some supportive. The truth started to spread. People began to question the photos, point out inconsistencies, timestamps. She edited them, Mara said softly. Look at this. The lighting doesn't even match. I smiled for the first time that day. She's getting sloppy. Ada leaned back, relief mixed with fear. You think she'll stop? No, I said. She'll double down. As if on cue, my phone rang again. Sienna, Ryan, are you okay? Barely, I said. You saw what she did.
Else.
Everyone did, Sienna replied. But people are starting to turn on her. That post of yours worked. It's something, I said. But it won't stop her. Sienna hesitated. You're right. She's hosting another event tonight. She's calling it a reputation celebration. She invited half the people from last night. I went still. You're kidding. No, she's planning something. I heard her talking to Chloe earlier. She's not done, Ryan. I met Mara's eyes. She heard every word. What did she say exactly? I asked. That she's going to finish the story she started, Sienna said. Whatever that means. I felt the weight of the day settle again. Then I know what I have to do. Mara shook her head. You can't go back into that circus, I said. If she's setting another trap, I won't let her spring it on someone else. You think you can stop her? I think I need to try. Sienna's voice was urgent. Be careful. She's desperate. Desperate people don't think straight. I know, I said. Thanks for the warning. I hung up and slipped the phone into my pocket. Mara stood, her hands trembling slightly. If you're going, I'm not letting you go alone. Mara, no, she said firmly. You stood by me? I'm doing the same. For a moment, I just looked at her. Strong, steady, fearless. All right, I said quietly. Then we go together. The sunlight caught her face, and for the first time that day, I saw something in her eyes that cut through the chaos. It wasn't fear anymore. It was resolve. The ballroom shimmered again. Same lights, same champagne glow, same fake smiles pretending last night never existed. Ella always knew how to control a room. Tonight was no different. Cameras flashed the moment she walked in, radiant in silver. She hadn't destroyed 3 reputations in 24 hours. I tightened my grip on Mara's hand as we entered. Every head turned. The music faltered for a second, just like before. She's pretending nothing happened, Mara whispered. She's pretending she still owns the story, I said. But not tonight. We moved through the crowd slowly, people whispering. Phones rising discreetly to capture another scandal in real time. Colin stood near the bar, his jaw set, eyes cold. He looked at Ella, like he wasn't sure whether to hate her or protect her. She gave him that familiar smirk, the one that always came before a storm. Sienna approached us with a glass of champagne. You really came. I had to, I said. She's going to lose it when she sees you, Sienna said under her breath. Be ready. I'm counting on it. Mara glanced at me. You don't have to prove anything to her. It's not about her anymore, I said. It's about ending this. The band quieted. Ella took the stage with her signature confidence, microphone in hand, her voice smooth. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been a wild few days, hasn't it? But I believe in facing challenges with grace. Her words hung like perfume. Sweet, calculated, poisonous. Someone in the crowd shouted, What about the leaked photos? She laughed lightly. People love to create stories. I don't engage with rumors. The audience chuckled politely. She scanned the room, her gaze landing on me. The smile flickered. I felt the moment settle like electricity. I let go of Mara's hand and stepped forward. Then let's talk about stories, Ella. The microphone in her hand trembled slightly. Ryan, I wasn't expecting you, notice I said. But since you brought up Grace, maybe it's time for some truth. The host tried to step in, but the crowd hushed him. Every eye turned toward us. Ella lifted her chin. You want attention that badly? I want honesty, I said. You edited those photos? You sent them to the press. You used them to humiliate me, to destroy Mara's career, to make yourself the victim. Her smile stiffened. That's absurd. Then show your phone, I said. Prove you didn't send them. She froze. The silence stretched. I stepped closer, calm, steady. You built your reputation on pretending. But you forgot people can see through cracks, especially when the light hits. A murmur rippled through the audience. Colin frowned, looking at Ella. Is that true? She turned to him quickly. Of course not. Then why did your assistant tell me you were up all night scheduling fake accounts? He asked loudly. I didn't want to believe it. The room erupted. Ella's voice broke. Colin, stop. This isn't the place. It's exactly the place, I said. You used this stage to hurt people? I'm using it to stop you. Her eyes filled with fury. You think humiliating me makes you better? No, I said. It makes me free. She shook her head, mascara starting to smear. You still care. That's why you're here. I looked at her, really looked. The woman who once made me feel invincible now looked small under the lights she loved so much. I don't care anymore, said quietly. That's the part you never expected. The whispers turned into gasps. People took videos. Others turned away in discomfort. Ella tried to smile again, but her voice cracked. You'll regret this. I already regretted loving you, I said. Her breath caught. Then she dropped the microphone and stormed out. The crowd parted as she passed, the click of her heels echoing like the end of an act. I stood still, chest tight, every muscle finally releasing. The noise faded behind me. Mara stepped forward. You really did it. I had to. Do you feel better? She asked softly. I feel lighter, I said. Like I stopped carrying something that was never mine to hold. Sienna joined us, smiling faintly. You broke her act in front of her entire world. That's poetic. It wasn't about breaking her, I said. It was about reclaiming myself. Mara reached for my hand again, hesitant this time. She won't forgive you. I don't need her forgiveness. We walked toward the exit together. The air outside was cool, quiet, honest. The night no longer felt heavy. At the top of the stairs, Mara stopped and turned to face me. The city lights reflected in her eyes. You finally let her go, she said. I met her gaze, the noise of the gala fading behind us. No, I said. I finally let myself go. For a long moment, neither of us moved. The tension wasn't heavy anymore. It was peace. The wind carried the faint sound of music from inside, the last song of a night that had already ended. The sound of rain hitting the window had become my favorite kind of silence. No drama, no phone buzzing, no headlines with my name. Just peace. 3 weeks had passed since the gala. My mornings looked different now. Coffee instead of chaos. Music instead of memories. At the office, my coworkers treated me like I had survived a war. Maybe I had, Ryan. Clients are asking for you again, Mark said, sliding a folder onto my desk. Good, I said. Let's keep it that way. He gave a knowing grin. Feels weird not seeing your name in a scandal. I plan to keep it that way too. After work, I stopped by the cafe where Mara liked to wait. She always picked the corner table, near the window, 2 cups already steaming. She smiled when I walked in. You're late. Traffic, I said. Or maybe I just wanted to make sure you missed me. Her eyes softened. You don't have to try so hard anymore. I sat across from her, letting her words settle. I know. We sat in easy quiet for a while, the kind that doesn't need filling. I saw Sienna's story, Mara said. She's in Greece with Chloe. They look happy. They deserve that, I said. We all do. You really think you've moved on? I think I've stopped chasing the wrong things, I said. Mara leaned forward. Like what? Validation, control, revenge. I met her gaze. I used to think getting even would make me feel alive. Turns out, letting go did. Her hand brushed mine, light, unforced. That's growth. Feels strange, I said. Peace isn't exciting. It's better, she said. It lasts. I laughed softly. You sound like you've been waiting to say that. I have, she admitted. The door chimed as a couple entered, laughter cutting through the soft jazz. I watched them, hand in hand, careless and unaware of the world. That used to be us, I said without thinking. With Ella, Mara asked carefully. I nodded. The only difference was, I mistook obsession for love.
Ow!
She frowned slightly. You still think about her? Not in the way I used to, I said. Sometimes I remember the way I felt, not the person. The need to prove I mattered. You mattered, she said. You just gave that power to the wrong person. Her words hit deep. I'm starting to believe that. When we left the cafe, the city lights shimmered against puddles. She walked beside me, our hands brushing but never quite holding. It wasn't uncertainty anymore. It was patience at my car. She paused. You could come over tonight, she said quietly. I looked at her, really looked. You sure? She nodded. I'm done being scared of what feels real. We spent the night not talking about Ella, not talking about revenge or fallout or gossip. We just existed, slow and steady, like we were rewriting everything that came before. The next morning, I woke up to sunlight cutting across the sheets. Mara was already awake, sitting on the edge of the bed, hair loose. Eyes calm. You're staring, I said. I'm memorizing, she replied. Why? Because I like this version of you, she said, not the one trying to win. I smiled. He's gone, good, she said. He exhausted me. We both laughed, but underneath it was truth. The man I used to be had burned out fighting ghosts. Later, I drove her to work. She leaned over before getting out and said, "Don't disappear again." I won't, I said. When I got home, the apartment finally felt mine. No traces of Ella's perfume, no reminders of what used to sting. I opened the windows, let the wind in, and stood there, breathing freely for the first time in months. For the first time, I didn't feel the need to post, to prove, to be seen. I just wanted to live. That evening, I cooked dinner for myself. The kind of small, quiet victory no one claps for. The kind that matters. The phone sat face down beside the cutting board, forgotten. When I finally checked it, there were messages from Mark, a meme from Sienna, and a heart from Mara. I smiled at the last one, setting the phone aside again, but then it buzzed once more, an unknown number. One message. Can we talk? The name under it stopped me cold. Ella. For a moment, I didn't move. The screen glowed in the dim light of my kitchen, like a ghost tapping on glass. Mara's laughter from earlier echoed in my head. You finally let her go. I stared at the message, my reflection faint against the screen. The man looking back wasn't angry anymore. He wasn't desperate or broken. He was someone else entirely. Someone who didn't need to answer. Yet my thumb hovered over the reply. Not out of curiosity. Not out of longing. Out of closure. I locked the phone instead and set it face down again. For once, silence felt like strength. Outside, the rain began again. Soft against the glass. It didn't sound like endings anymore. It sounded like peace. The city felt quieter than usual that afternoon. Maybe it was me. Maybe the noise inside had finally faded. Ella's message had sat on my phone for 2 days before I replied. Just one word, okay? We met at the same cafe where she once told me she needed space. Back then, she looked like someone walking toward freedom. Now, she looked like someone running from herself. She was already there when I arrived. Sitting by the window, twisting her straw between her fingers. When she saw me, her lips parted as if she didn't believe I'd actually come. "Ryan," she said softly, "you look different." "I am," I said. She smiled weakly. Still the same voice, though. I missed that. Sat across from her. "What did you want to talk about?" Her eyes dropped to her coffee. "You don't waste time anymore." "I learned not to," I said. She hesitated, then said, "Colin's gone." I nodded once. I figured. Her eyes searched mine. "You're not even surprised?" "I'm not anything," I said. She laughed under her breath, but there was no humor in it. "He left me for someone younger." Said I reminded him of his mistakes. I leaned back in my chair. "Sounds familiar?" Her head snapped up. "I deserve that." "Hey, I'm not trying to hurt you," I said. "I just stopped pretending this is about closure." "What? Then why are you here?" She asked. "To end it right," I said. She looked at me like she didn't understand the word. "I didn't expect you to move on so fast." "I didn't move on fast," I said. "I healed slow." Her voice dropped. "With Mara?" "Yes," she nodded, eyes glassy. "She's kind. Too kind for you." She saw me when you didn't, I said. That makes her exactly right for me. Ella's fingers trembled against the cup. I thought you'd hate me forever. I did, I said. Then I realized hate is just love that's been waiting too long to die. Tears filled her eyes. I made a mistake, Ryan. I know. I thought you'd come back eventually. That you'd still care enough to fight for me. I did care, I said, but I stopped fighting battles I already lost. She reached across the table, her hand shaking as it found mine. Her skin was cold, desperate. I miss us, she whispered. There is no us, I said gently. There's what we were and what we learned. Then what did I teach you? That love without respect isn't love at all. Her lips trembled. You're really not coming back, are you? No, I said. She leaned back, eyes red, voice breaking. I kept waiting for you to beg. Should thank you instead, I said quietly. You made room for something real. Her face twisted. Does she make you happy? Yes, I said. Because she never tried to make me smaller. She looked away. I used to think power was control. That whoever cared less, won. Then you must feel like you lost, I said. I did, she whispered. Outside. Rain began to fall again, soft against the glass. I stood, sliding my chair back. Ella looked up quickly. So that's it? That's peace, I said. Her voice broke. Can we at least be friends? No, I said. You can forgive yourself without me. I started toward the door, but her voice stopped me. Ryan, wait. Turned. She stood, shoulders trembling. I loved you. I really did. I nodded. Then I hope you learn to love yourself the same way someday. As I stepped outside, the air felt lighter, almost clean. Across the street, Mara stood under a black umbrella, waiting. Her smile was small but steady, the kind that doesn't need words. I crossed to her. The rain soaking through my sleeves. You went, she said. I had to, I said. One last goodbye? Are you okay? I'm free. She reached out her hand. Then let's go home. I took it, fingers locking with hers. Warmth spread through me, quiet and certain. Behind us, through the cafe window, Ella still stood there watching. Her reflection blurred against the glass. A woman, realizing too late that pride costs more than heartbreak, Mara squeezed my hand. What did she say? That she thought I'd beg for her back. Mara tilted her head. And what did you say? I smiled. I thanked her. For what? For letting me find something real. We walked down the street, the rain softening, city lights flickering in puddles. For the first time in a long time, I didn't look back.